It's always bothersome when talking millionaires talk down at us and think that we are asking for too much to have a living wage. I would love to see this gentleman work just a couple shifts at a fast food place.
Jesse Waters, you know, Adam, you're a big fan of Ozzy Osbourne, and also a big fan of Jesse Waters, right? Out at Fox News.
Yeah, I wasn't sure who he was at first, but then I do recall him. I couldn't put the name with the face. I have done so, unfortunately, now, and so I am familiar with his work, so to speak.
Yeah, so there we go. This is Jesse Waters is a host at Fox News, and he's just got a really interesting theory about how much money $20 an hour is. Let's play this clip.
If you're making $20 an hour to work at a fast food restaurant, right? Is that six figures? Are you making?
No.
What
40 grand. 40 grand.
50 is just to exit and add a few zeros.
Yeah. Okay, so
40K a year.
Okay,
full time.
40K a year.
Yeah.
So, and then if your husband or wife is also there, you're making $100,000 as a family.
Sure.
Both working at McDonald's.
80 grand.
That is okay. That's crazy. That is crazy, because that job really doesn't require much. So it's inflating the entire, labor sector
And the Happy Meal.
And the Happy Meal.
Unhappy, very unhappy.
Which I'm very unhappy about.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, that's pretty ghoulish there, saying that a family of two, both working full time, don't deserve $80,000 a year. I mean, that is just really wild stuff and super out of touch. You can tell. I mean, this is a millionaire, right? This guy makes millions of dollars a year, and so
to whine on TV.
To whine on TV, yeah, exactly right. And to pretend, I mean, he does this kind of, I'm a populist, fighting for the everyman thing, kind of like Tucker Carlson did or does. And so, the idea that he's saying $20 an hour is too much for, or $20 an hour is six figures. I mean, that is just really wild.
I loved how he exaggerated 2 or 3 different times there on the math itself. Like,
you got 2 people making 20 an hour. Well, that's 6 figures, right? Well, no, actually 40 times 2 that's 80. Right. That's 80, Jesse. It's not 100.
Right. I mean, maybe if they had an 18-year-old living at home who also worked full time. I mean, come on now. It's just it's always bothersome when talking millionaires talk down at us and think that we are asking for too much to have a living wage. Mm-hmm. And I would love to see this gentleman work just a couple shifts at a fast food place. Work a good open and a good close. Yeah. Maybe in the same day.
Maybe do it cloping.
Real experience. Yeah, to get that real experience.
You got a cloping.
Yeah. I think it's all, I mean, I just kind of have this general rule that you can often tell when people have never worked in the service sector before. They tend to be a little oblivious to things. Right. Having worked in restaurants, having worked in fast food, it's a hard job, man. It's not. Yeah. You can say it's easy in terms of intellectually, perhaps. Yeah. I mean, perhaps, but there's a lot that goes into it, whether you're in the customer service side of things, which can be always stressful and uneasy and even dangerous at times, or if you're in the back, right, and you're getting burned up and covered in grease all the time. That was some of the hardest work I've ever done, was working in some fast food places, scrubbing floors, scrubbing toilets, cleaning grills.
It was absolutely the hardest.
It can be really grueling. Yeah. It can be hot. It can be tiresome. Of course, without a union there, good luck getting a break at a timely manner. And if you do get a break, it's going to be usually at management's discretion, and management will determine, what you can do on that break and where you can go on that break, and maybe if you're lucky, they'll throw you a 30% discount on the food if you're lucky. Yeah. So
Well, and so this was in response to recently California raised the minimum wage for fast food workers to $20 an hour. And so a lot of people are really upset about this. There's this one Twitter.
Yeah, but I mean, what's the cost of living in California,
exactly,
right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, $40,000 is not going to take you very far in Los Angeles or San Francisco.
Well, and there's this Twitter account called End Wokeness, who tweeted a picture of and who knows if this is even real, right? But it's a picture of a menu supposedly before and after the thing, and he was like, this is what happens when you raise the minimum wage to $20 an hour, and literally the burger. It was a double burger or whatever, I can't remember the name of it, but it increased the price by 20 cents. And the milkshake was 5 cents more expensive.
Right.
And so, it's like,
so like maybe
that's a win. Like, that's a win. Like, if I can pay 20 cents more for a burger and they get $20 an hour, okay, yeah, I will do that. And also, we know, like, you can just take a look at the McDonald's menu from Denmark, where McDonald's workers not only make $22, $23 an hour, they also have 6 weeks of paid vacation. They all have health care. They have maternity and paternity leave. I mean, it's just like, and it's the same price, actually. Denmark, I think their burgers are in McDonald's are actually a little bit less expensive than in the United States.
Hey, 5 seconds, just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
So, actually, it's not necessary to raise prices and pay people, more of the value that they create, because the value is being created. It's just a question of where does it go? Does it go into the pockets of the people who actually make, or does it go into the pockets of the people who own, who make money because they have money?
And the thing is, they often forget that when folks like fast food workers get a pay raise, they immediately turn around and spend that in the community, right? It's not like a billionaire who gets an extra few million to, stock away in some account somewhere, right? It's being spent in the community. It's being spent on car repairs and doctor's visits, buying new clothes for the kids for school, all the different expenses that just come up in life. Right. And so there used to be, even among fairly moderate, not even progressive people, an understanding that you could, in fact, grow the economy from the bottom up, that consumption is a pretty large part of our economy. When workers don't have the money to consume, it slows the economy. Right. So more money in the pockets of more workers, more spending. You can get into the weeds on all that, but yeah, it's just wild to me that that is not really appreciated anymore. And this guy being a jackass, making millions of dollars to be a jackass on TV.
And tell you that you have it good enough and you don't deserve better.
Right.
That's what they make their money at. It's
pretty
gross.
Yeah, I mean, I've got no problem with a fast food worker making $20 an hour. The only problem I might have is that enough?
Right.
Because a living wage in some areas may be more than that, frankly.
Yeah.
But kudos to the workers who have been really organizing in California. A lot of fast food worker organizing is happening. I know they are developing councils in the state and local government to deal with this. I think that's really important. I mean, I applaud the workers for organizing. Wherever businesses go, workers should organize.
Right. And
if we're stuck with a bunch of crappy fast food restaurants that serve, mediocre food, at the very least, we should unionize those and try to get the best possible deal for the workers involved. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, just wait. They're going to automate all this. They'll have robots flipping burgers. Okay. Last I checked, the promise of automation, the good things they sell us about automation, right, is that it will do jobs that human beings don't want to do anymore.
Right.
I'm not mad if you can automate more and more fast food labor. I am concerned about the workers, sure. That's why I believe in a federal job guarantee, right? I believe that every person who wants a job should be able to get a job. But I'm not scared of paying the workers a little bit more, and now all of a sudden we're going to automate. I don't think that's going to happen to a large degree, but to the extent that it happens, so be it. If we can free more humans from the drudgery of fast food labor, then fine. I'm fine with that. There's other ways to create jobs. There's a whole lot of jobs that need to be done in this country. A whole lot. From saving our environment to rebuilding our infrastructure to the care economy with, from nurses to teachers and on and on. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in this country. I'm not scared of raising wages too quickly and forcing automation. No, the problem is the companies.
Right. And automation is happening already. We see in Alabama, we have in Alabama a minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. And I already see McDonald's that will barely take your order from a person.
Right.
That's
happening regardless.
It's happening regardless, and actually, I think some of what we've seen when we introduce some of these automated, screens where nobody takes your order, you do the order yourself, is that that creates kind of more that makes frees up the workers to do back of the house work more, and so you actually don't lose jobs that way, so. Automation's coming, but people should make a living wage in the meantime.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, and as automation is coming, workers should unionize so that they have a say in how that automation is implemented and who gets money from the increased productivity.
Right. The problem is not necessarily machines. It's that we don't own or control the machines, and therefore we can be victimized by them. It doesn't have to be that way, right? We could automate a whole lot of drudgery labor in order to free people up to do other things. That's certainly an approach, but yeah, this trend is happening. I went to the doctor's office yesterday, and rather than fill out the clipboards, right, I was sent a link on my phone, and I had to sit out there in the waiting room for 10 minutes dealing with this stupid little form that would always reset constantly, and I was just doing this 10-15 minutes at least. What would have taken 3 minutes on a piece of paper, but because they have continually off-sourced all this work to consumers a lot of times, so yeah, that's happening regardless. We might as well get paid in the meantime.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.